Hi, welcome to Q Live at the Q Conference in Palm Springs, 2012. And my name is Diane Main. I'm going to be talking today with the organizers of the Q Rockstar Summer Teacher Camps. And with me today I have Jon Corippo and Chris Scott.
Hi.
That's them. So, we're going to talk a little bit about what is Rockstar, when people can sign up, and where they can go to sign up, and when these camps are taking place, and also kind of the purpose for it. Why another PD? We've got a lot of PD, but this is different, isn't it?
Yeah.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about...
I'll start with the end of kind of your list there.
Yeah.
You know, there are a lot of great conferences, and the Q conference, again, this year is just off the chart, right? I've seen crazy good presenters, excited teachers. It's awesome. But when I worked at CTAP a few years ago, I said, I think that we can change this paradigm and make it somewhat more powerful. And so the idea of Rockstar is we have a 2-hour hands-on session, we have a 2-hour lunch, and then another 2-hour hands-on session. And let's say you signed up to do Google Apps. You're going to walk out with a workflow that you can roll into your classroom first week of school and deploy. So that's the mentality. It's not walk and talk. We literally limit our speakers to about 15 minutes, and then the other 2 hours are build that DJO account, build that Google Maps account, make those maps, walk away with instructables and deliverables. And it's been very powerful because we also limit the size and scope. And as you well know, Diane, you came that first year and I'm just happy to be here. I'm just happy to be here.
I was happy to be there.
She was very happy to be there. But,
me too.
And Krista.
And
so what happens is, because you're in those 2-hour classes and they're hands-on, you start forming relationships with other awesome teachers. And it's really about relationship building. Then we talk at lunch, and we talk at lunch, and then we talk some more at lunch. And
so that's the purpose of the 2-hour lunch, to really...
The purpose of the 2-hour lunch, really literally the first year I had structured activities we were going to do, and the loudness of the conversations, I just scrapped it on the spot. I just said, I'm just going to stop. And people from all over California and the Western states are these powerful conversations. So the other piece of it is it's limited access. The first 2 years we only had 100 people, and then this year, partly because Chris is coming on board with another option, we're scrunching it down to 60. And what I'd like to wrap up with is the product that's come out of that. I added it up the other day, and in only 2 years now of Rockstar, and we really built it as the camp for people who want to go to another level. They want to go from being a hotshot teacher to a hotshot presenter. They can go and share how the educational world could be different. We have, I believe, 11 people that have gone from classroom teacher to Apple Distinguished Educator or GCT, Google Certified Teacher, like 11 in 2 years. Half of those are both now, okay? We've got 3 people that have become district tech coordinators. We've got people that have gone from not presenting anything to presenting at Q. And it's not really about making money on that. It's about taking your passion and your great ideas to the next level.
So it's not formally designed to train people to do those things. It's just that's the natural outcome of what's going on there.
And I mean, again, you're a great example because you were active before, right? And you were a Google Certified Teacher before. Right. But is this not true? You've moved into much larger circles much more quickly.
Yeah.
And then Chris is a great example because first year, he's just a guy I met at Q. We were hanging out talking about 1980s video cameras. And I said, you should really go to this. He meets all the right people. He's sitting in sessions next to Mike Lawrence, right? And Mark Wagner, not Chris Walsh, but Mark Wagner. My dyslexia went crazy. And now Chris has actually said, that's cool. He's rolled out one-to-one at his school. And now he's hosting a Rockstar camp of his own and assembling an amazing team with Kyle Brumbaugh and Elizabeth Calhoun. So in those little more than 2 years, the way he affects his educational environment regionally is a totally different animal.
Well, and also getting the SBQ, Santa Barbara Q affiliate revived, which is going to be a great opportunity for educators in your area to start hearing about these things and really be plugged into what's going on.
If I can say that the Central Coast Rockstar in July 11th through 13th is a combined effort between Gold Coast Q, Ventura, and San Luis Obispo Q and Santa Barbara Q. So it's like all 3 counties coming together, Q affiliates, to pull this in. And it really is about bringing that Rockstar experience to our area, which is lacking. If I may make an observation, which I will right now,
Absolutely.
that so much,
be good.
so much of the great stuff in conferences happens in the hallways, happens at the dinner table, happens when you're hanging out later at a hotel room or wherever you're going. That's so the powerful things that we walk away with. That's where it happens. And I think Rockstar, it takes the hallways and the dinner table and puts it in the class, puts it in the session.
Well, like, some of the best sessions at Q are always the slams, right? Where people are yelling out from the audience, and that's our format. We encourage and have built for that. So it's a pretty amazing thing. Now, the next thing is people are going, hey, I think if you're an empowered, effective teacher, at this point in the interview, you should be saying, that sounds cool.
Right.
What's it going to cost me? And what's
Tell
really
us,
cool?
John.
Well, I don't want to tell you the price yet.
12 monthly installments.
We originally, when we designed it, we knew that California was coming into a bad economy. And the old days of walking to your principal and saying, dude, I got to go to this conference. And him saying, how many days? That's over. So it's built to be where a person, a normal classroom teacher, can write that check. So right now, if you're a Q member, and we don't even have an early deadline, so why did I say right now?
Right now or tomorrow.
Or tomorrow. It's $159 for 3 days. Okay, if you're a professional teacher that wants to make your career better, and you don't want to become an ADE or district tech coordinator, it's okay. There's no expectation.
Yeah, I think it's important to kind of say, not everybody that attends these is going to begin presenting at conferences necessarily, but they're going to make change happen wherever they affect people. And, their kids, their learners, whoever those are going to notice a difference.
Here's another scenario. Your district says you have to be in a PLN. Well, what that usually turns into is 3 people hanging out on a wiki space from the same district. We're talking about knowing people from 5 or 10 counties, or 10 or 12 states, or 4 or 5 countries, where you're owning your PLN, so that when you're person that says you have to have a PLN because of your contract, you're like, dude, I got 400 people following me on Twitter.
You can have some of my PLN. Would you like some of this?
Would you like me to facilitate?
I've got a little extra PLN.
Would you like me to facilitate your other people figuring that out?
Yes.
So it's really about, it's very much a DIY, self-made ownership thing, but it's nonprofit, so it's also very affordable. It's handmade with love. Every year, we change things and adapt them. For $159, if you're already a Q member, you get Starbucks in the morning. We have a light breakfast. Lunch is included. We have tri-tip pulled pork sandwiches. That's included. And then
minarets specifically. Lunch menu is still being worked out on Central Coast Rockstar.
Yeah, but you know, you foodies on the coast, that's just easy. You can just walk out your backyard and get some radishes.
Yet about,
You're not going to fly John in to make tri-tip, right?
And the one that really accelerates it, because after the first hour of conversation, the free ice cream comes out.
I was going to say, you have not mentioned
my
favorite part.
And that's when it just goes to a whole nother crazy level, because now people are on excited ed tech geek coma with massive sugar rush, and it just takes off, and the afternoon flies by. The sessions don't really start till 10, and they're over at 4. We all take a nap. We all stay at the same hotel. We don't take the nap together, but it's at the same time, and then we all meet up for dinner. So then there's this whole expectation that we all meet up. Now,
so we're not going to roll out our mats on the floor and take a nap like in kindergarten?
We could. It would just take
some mats, really.
Well, like if Walmart sponsored us for some yoga mats, because we're a nonprofit, you know, we're not going to provide, but that could work. That could work.
We should
but
look into that.
a great example of that, though, is last year, Ken Shelton and a couple people said, we're only an hour from Yosemite, let's go. And they ended up doing a photo safari, and it was one of those.
Yeah,
I didn't go. Somebody had to be there too.
We went in Jim Sill's icy Chariot of Doom.
Chariot of Doom. It's a lot like Raiders of the Lost Ark in a freezer, right? But that just a couple of like-minded people said, we're going to do this.
That was great.
And you know, a photo safari in Yosemite is always good, but they were lucky enough to have hang gliders taken off.
There's a bear
Thanks
sighting.
for arranging
a bear
that.
sighting.
Thanks for arranging the bear and the hang gliders.
Well, it was an animatronic.
That was the cherry on my cake.
Amazingly realistic. But so this year, what's advanced is, and for the crowd that doesn't know, Diane will be leading geocaching in Yosemite Valley. I'll be working with Dave Cornelius from the Walter Cronkite Center for Arizona State. We're building a new thing, video safari. And there'll be journalistic elements and video elements and visual and performing arts elements, and we'll have it all mapped out. And then another crew that's developing is going to do a photo safari. So we're going to do all that in Yosemite Valley. We have access to a public school in Yosemite Valley, so we have T1. We'll do that before lunch. We'll have a nice picnic lunch. Then we'll come out of that, we'll do our uploads, our primary data uploads, get that rolling, head back for a nap, go out to dinner and talk about awesome stuff.
Yeah, I think what is being said, but not explicitly stated, is that it's an experience.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, conferences are an experience, and it's great, but sometimes you end up in sessions, you're like, that wasn't exactly what I was looking for, or you're like, I just want a little bit more. And I think Rockstar, we could talk about the shred sessions.
Right.
Where
That's a perfect
where
segue.
the presenters are selling their sessions to the audience in the morning.
Okay, Ramona, I'm gonna need a close-up right now. Can you zoom in? Okay. Have you ever been to a conference and you read the blurb? It's okay, stay there, that's good. You read the blurb and it says you're gonna learn this.
Yeah.
But when you get into the session, you're thinking, I might need to learn that, but that is not a good personality fit for me.
Right.
Or that person teaches high school and I'm K3, or there's so many variables you don't get out of 100 words.
Yeah.
At Rockstar, we start every morning with shred sessions, and you're going, what is that? A shred session is a 2-minute live demo by a guy like this or a gal like this, and they're competing for butts in the seats.
That's right.
You get 2 minutes to see, how does that person act? Is that a fit for me? Is this gonna roll? And what's really neat for the viewers is they get to see the presenters compete for body count.
And it's entertaining.
And it is
fun.
wildly
You wore a
entertaining.
polo shirt cape last year.
That's right.
It's kind of like an amped up TEDx.
Yeah.
Right? But 2 minutes, bang, bang, bang.
Way
I'm gonna
more.
teach you Google Forms and it's gonna do like this and you're
Yeah.
gonna learn this and you're gonna be able to do this. And really competing for the crowd.
Yeah.
And so people walk out of that session saying, oh my God,
Yeah.
who should I go and see?
Yeah.
But part of the plan there too is every session repeats. So let's say Chris and I are your two favorites. You can see his session in the morning and mine in the afternoon. So you have a chance to get both of us.
I'm much better in the morning anyways.
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
Wow. So you guys have given us a lot of information about what it's like. It's really hard to encapsulate in such a short time what like you said, it's an experience. And we just want to make sure people know they can go to q.org/rockstar. They can get, we've got July 11th through 13th. It's in Central Coast, which is around San Ynez.
In San Ynez.
In San Ynez. And
Beautiful, beautiful wine country.
Right.
August 7th through 9th at Minarets High School in O'Neill's, out an hour from Yosemite in the Central Valley. And that's where John's at right now. And so Chris is organizing.
I'll be there on August 7th through 9th.
Yes.
Not
We're not
there right
physically
now.
there right now because we're here.
I'll be there in
Weird.
time. I'll be
Yes.
there in time.
So you got time. So August 7th through 9th for the Minarets one, July 11th through 13th for the Central Coast. And I can't recommend it enough. I mean, I lucked out that I went to the first one. In fact, I got in
Diane
for free.
won, because
I
we
won
had
the
a
video contest.
How about making a video? I have to go to Rockstar.
I was like,
and hers was way over the top.
I need to go to Rockstar, and that we hadn't met until I got
Sight
there.
unseen, and now we're like
We're like
brothers and
wonder
sisters.
twins.
We're people that can't stop talking to each other.
Yeah, we-
and
They're
that
not
came
lying.
from that experience.
Yeah.
Not lying. If you follow on
And we
Twitter.
like him too.
And he's like our little brother that we beat up
He's our little
sometimes.
brother that can grow more facial hair.
That's why I grew out my facial hair.
He's trying
I
to
had
look
the
older.
bruises.
Really, I would rather have it be about your ideas and not
It's
your
all
hair.
going to get edited out, you know that, right? Okay,
that's
so
okay.
Yes.
thank you guys very much for joining us. I'm excited about Rockstar.
Yeah.
You can go on to the website. You can see who the people are that are going to be featured speakers.
And if you're not motivated yet, remember these things. It sells out every year. It will always
Every year.
sell out every year. And we're down 60 this year. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
we're down
80.
260, yeah.
So it's 60-person cap, and we don't make it bigger because it's about
The
relationships and
relationship,
experiences. So you're not going to be in a cattle drive. It's going to be, there's my instructor from yesterday. We're buddies on Twitter, and we hang out now forever.
Forever.
We should have a tattoo booth.
Permanent tattoos?
Yeah. People might go for that.
Be like a rock star.
So anyway, thank you guys so much for joining me. I know that they're going to have to...
for Q. For Q.
Ooh, I like that. I like that.
All right, so thank you guys for joining me. Chris Scott and Jon Corippo, and I'm Diane Main for Q Live. Thank you very much.